So guys, I'm sure we've all heard the news that has just recently came out in regards to the WWE and the firing of Mandy Rose, who just lost the NXT Women's Championship. Today we're going to be going over the entire situation, talking about how it happened, everything that went down on Twitter before the firing, and just everything leading up to it in this crazy situation where Mandy Rose has been fired from the WWE after photos of her were leaked. What's up guys, it's Tom or Top 10 Wrestling and welcome to the death of Mandy Rose's WWE career. We're going to talk about Mandy Rose's career very briefly and then touch on everything that has happened with Mandy Rose and the WWE and her just out of nowhere firing. Be sure to like and subscribe and let's get into the video. Mandy Rose first appeared for the WWE in the 2015 edition of Tough Enough. She had a really good showing on this Tough Enough, finishing runner-up on the series, and though she didn't win, she would still be offered and accept a WWE deal and sign for WWE NXT and report to the Performance Center. Mandy Rose didn't last too long in NXT, she mainly just wrestled on house shows as well, was never really on television that much, before she was called up to the main roster to join Sonya Deville and Paige as Absolution, a brand new trio on WWE television. But however, Paige would have to retire about 3 months later, meaning Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville would become a duo, calling themselves Fire and Desire. Fire and Desire kind of floated around as a mid-card women's team for the next couple of years. They had some big wins here and there and got some big matches here and there, including Mandy Rose trying to beat Asuka for the women's title and the two of them being in the Elimination Chamber for the inaugural Women's Champions. However, Fire and Desire would eventually break up in a feud that involved Otis, Dolph Ziggler and the SmackDown Stalker. God, remember all that? This would end with a match at SummerSlam 2020 in a loser leaves WWE match, which was won by Mandy Rose. And from here, Mandy would stride on with her babyface run and she'd begin teaming with Dana Brooke, and again, they just sort of became a mid-card team, and Mandy Rose's babyface run really didn't click that well. She was much better suited as being a heel, and it seems as though WWE finally recognized that and finally wanted to give her the massive push that she maybe deserved. In July of 2021, Mandy Rose returned to the NXT brand. It was fairly out of nowhere as she was still a babyface teaming with Dana Brooke, but when she appeared on NXT, it seemed as though she was a heel on her own again. But she would be joined by teammates soon enough as she would form an alliance with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, dubbing themselves the Toxic Attraction. And at Halloween Havoc that year in October, Rose would defeat Raquel Gonzalez in a Chucky's Choice trick or street fight to win the NXT Women's Championship, the first title in her wrestling career. And this was a big win for Mandy. Raquel Gonzalez had been in a dominant reign, and Mandy Rose being the one to defeat her was pretty big. It seemed like WWE had some stuff lined up for Mandy, and as hindsight is 2020, we were absolutely correct, they did. And on that same night, Dolan and Jane won the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, in turn giving Toxic Attraction all the women's championships in NXT. They had solidified themselves as the top trio in NXT, both men and women, and just completely dominating the women's division now. Mandy and the Toxic Attraction would have a match at War Games that year, facing Kaylee Ray, Cora Jade, Io Shirai, and Gonzalez in a War Games match, and Mandy Rose would feud with the likes of Cora Jade, Zoe Stark, Roxanne Perez, Wendy Chu to retain the title. At Worlds Collide, Mandy Rose would unify the NXT UK Women's Championship with the NXT Women's Championship by defeating the NXT UK champion Miko Satomura and Blair Davenport in a triple threat match, thus technically making her the last ever NXT UK champion. At Halloween Havoc, she would retain her title against Alba Fire, and on October 26th, she reached the 365-day mark as champion. It was a big achievement for Mandy, and I'd say that the reign was very, very successful up to that point, but it was about to end soon, and there might be a reason why, unfortunately. Mandy Rose was set to defend the title against Roxanne Perez in a rematch on the December 13th episode of NXT. However, something went down on Twitter a couple of days before. as pictures from Mandy Rose's FanTime account started to get leaked online. FanTime, if you're not aware, is basically just a way for wrestlers and other people to post paywalled content online to their fans. It's similar to OnlyFans and any other website like that. And many people will start weighing in their opinions online about these leaks and about these photos. One such Twitter user being a Twitter user by the name of iBeast, who, if you know about iBeast, which you probably don't, he's basically the Kira of wrestling Twitter. If you know, you know. He tweeted out saying, "The shit Mandy Rose be doing on her OnlyFans, I'm surprised WWE ain't stepped in." And this tweet would prompt a response from Mandy Rose herself, who would get into iBeast DMs and ask him to please delete that tweet as soon as possible. iBeast's response was to send his Cash App in there and ask for $1,000 for him to delete it. He eventually caved and deleted it without taking any payment, and then asked for a follow back, like that was ever gonna work. And like any clout chaser, he predictably screenshotted the DMs and leaked them for everyone else to see. After that though, it seemed like it was all kind of done. This was just another random day in wrestling Twitter where incidents like that took place. It seemed like it was all done, until on the December 13th episode of NXT, Mandy Rose would lose the title to Roxanne Perez. Oh no, she's lost the title. But at the end, she started kind of getting clapped away with the fans thanking her. It seemed as though she was having her send-off as she was getting called up to the main roster again soon, and that made sense. She had just had a 400-day reign. She was absolutely ready to boss up the main roster. But no, she wasn't. At 3:40 AM on December 14th, 2022, iBeast, the guy who leaks the DMs with Mandy and talks about her photos, tweeted out saying, "All I'm gonna say is this narrative I leaked her private photos is literally false. I merely said she goes crazy on her OnlyFans. And 2, to think WWE care about a Twitter account to the point where they decided to have her drop the title because of it is actually insane." Oh boy, this wouldn't age well. That same day, it was reported by Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful Select that Mandy Rose had been released by the WWE, as WWE officials felt they were put in a tough position based on the content she was posting on her FanTime page. They felt like it was outside of the parameters of her WWE deal. This was absolutely shocking, and to be honest, it's only been a day. It still is absolutely shocking that WWE followed through and actually released her. After all the stock they've invested in her in the last year, after how good she has been in the last year, she was gone just like that. Just as we thought she was going up to the main roster, nah, they release her. And this has obviously been met with a lot of backlash, with people disagreeing that she was released for just pictures like that being released, especially when WWE have capitalized on her sex appeal so many times. When she does it herself, she gets released. It is absolutely crazy that they have released her just like that. iBeast, if you were wondering, his response to all this, the only thing he has said since this has all happened is, "There's no way." Which, to be honest, that would probably be my reaction too. What's next for Mandy Rose is unknown now. I could absolutely see her just sitting out for a bit and resigning with WWE eventually in maybe a few months' time. I don't want to speculate too much though. It would be interesting to see her in AEW or anywhere else. Fact is that she's a very good wrestler, a very good worker and promo who can hold herself in any promotion she goes to, so time will tell what happens. But to be honest, she shouldn't have been fired in the first place, let's be real. That's going to do it from me though. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to smack that like button. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, all that. Let me know your opinion on Mandy Rose being released from the WWE. I'll see you all soon, goodbye, and keep on rolling.